hopefully is trying to get better and better and better. And, one thing that when I teach in my class, and I know, of course, that Phyllis will attest to, because Phyllis takes my courses also, is, I talk about being in the present, and that's where all the magic happens, and not like in the past thinking of things, or in the future thinking of things too. When you're in the present is really, when you're in the present, it doesn't matter what kind of challenges come at you, whether they're great challenges or really difficult challenges, you sort of hit them the same way. And that's kind of, for some people, it's a hard concept to understand. Like, how can you hit that the same way if it's not a great challenge versus a really great challenge? But in the present, there's nothing else sort of there. So you do hit them at the same way if you can sort of get there. But I think once we realize that the goal, I think for all of us, is to always look at the bigger picture, always, and come from a place of whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I want to do, is there a component of helping the universe, the energy of the world, like people around us? If you always put that in your brain somewhere and think whatever you're doing, how or does it connect to not just you, but the huge, the big picture, is always something that I think is so helpful, and makes you also then, it sort of forces you to look at, again, your inventory and who you are and where you are. So.
Yeah, and when you talk about being present, which is a practice, it's a practice, and it requires intention. It requires purpose. One thing to keep in mind is, if you're worried about yesterday, you're not in the present. If you're worried about thinking about tomorrow, you're not in the present. So in the present, there's no such thing as yesterday, or there's no such thing about tomorrow. In the present is being in the now, here and now. So, and again, that is something where our brains, Stephen, are hardwired to always go back to our library of events, significant moments in life. So that's what our brain is hardwired to do. Hey, because, this is happening now, but remember, something like that happened before, so we got to be cautious, or we got to proceed with caution and be careful. You have to learn to practice to quiet that voice, and in practice, just shifting to, okay, just be in the now, where there's none of that noise is present, pun intended. I don't know if that makes sense, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, of course it does. And you know what? I would also challenge anybody listening that the next time you're out somewhere, it doesn't matter if you're in the supermarket or store, you're just outside somewhere and having, even a good day, a normal day, just take a second to just focus on something. Not last trip, maybe 2 trips, 3 trips ago, you and I went to NYC, as we always do. And I remember we were in Lululemon, and you were in the dressing room trying something on, and I was standing there. And I think it was the first day we got to New York City, and I love going to New York City, and so do you, and we have a great time. And I remember I just focused on one of the fitting doors. The room you were in, I was just focusing on it because they wrote Elix, and I was focusing on the outside of the door, what was there. Like, I noticed that one side of the door was a little bit discolored than the other side of the door. It looked like one side had maybe like a little dent. And as I was doing that, and I did that for like maybe 30 seconds, if that, as soon as I like stopped doing that, I realized I was in the present doing that. And I had a wave of goosebumps and goose pimples go through my body. And I knew when I was doing that, I was in the present, and it just made the experience so much better. The gratefulness or the gratitude just came flooding in. Like, I don't want to leave this present. I want to stay in here because I'm having the best time with Elix, and the two of us are in New York City. And it's not about what are we doing later for dinner. It's right now that we have this opportunity. Try that. And I guarantee you that it will give you more than what you expect.
Yeah, that's awesome, Stephen. And give yourself grace. Don't expect, to try what Stephen just shared with you, which is a form of mindfulness, and then you get distracted. And then you say, oh, I'm not as good as Stephen. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it the same way. No, you got to give yourself grace and just do little by little. And if you can practice being present for just a few minutes at a time, that's good. Acknowledge that and then practice again. And the next time, practice being present for a little longer. And if you get caught in something else that has you make a left turn, then give yourself grace. It's okay. It's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you wrong. It just makes you a human. I think that's the best. That's my best takeaway for today for you guys.
I agree. You know what my best takeaway is? If you happen to find yourself in Lululemon, I like green. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh my God, I can't even with you. But Stephen, listen, we have a few minutes. I know we got stuff happening, so you want to tell people what you're up to, what you're doing, where they can find you, what events you have.
Well, you can find me under Stephen the Medium, my website or social media. I just finished, as I just mentioned earlier, a 6-week course with the most amazing participants that can possibly be out there. It was a fantastic, phenomenal class. So I'm really sad that happened, but the great thing is then we go to the next one. I have an event, but that's sold out. And I've just been doing a lot of private group events also. But you can also go on my website and book a reading or book a whisper in a note or figure out what a whisper in a note is via my website. So just my website's got it all. So just go there and you can figure out what I'm up to and how to make an appointment.
Fabulous. And you can find me at Coach Elix anywhere on social media. So if you don't follow me, you should be following me. And, and one of the things, Stephen, you and I have been talking about, we, for a while we were doing Sundays with Steelix and, but then, we had to stop because we have another project in the works. But I think you and I are going to start doing lives of sorts.
Yes.
Sooner than later.
I think so, yes. I actually have already put the YouTube channel's already up, but I haven't done any kind of advertising or anything like that because we haven't selected the particular grand opening of that YouTube channel yet. So
yeah. And it may look somewhat different than what we've done before because, again, we have some different parameters, but I think the idea of getting both you and I live and would be awesome.
And getting to talk to people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just like we did today. So I think this was this was all Stephen's idea. Thank you for those of you who joined us live. Thank you for those of you who joined us via the live feed. For the questions, Phil, Lisa, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Mark, our producer, Mark, for always showing up no matter what. The GM at WARA, Mr. Jim Jones, and the staff at WARA. Thank you all for all that you do. We appreciate you. And you guys have a wonderful weekend, Stephen. And
we'll be back in 2 weeks.
That's right. Next week, we are celebrating our 32-year anniversary, so we will not be doing the show, and then we'll be back. We'll see you back then. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye-bye.